Good evening. Welcome to Club Bed. I'm so happy you were able to make it. Tonight we are going to clear our chakras, and I've also mentioned to people to, in your mind, bring along your special person because we are going to clear their chakras too. Before we begin, let me explain the science behind this, because a lot of people think that it's hocus pocus, and it's really because it hasn't been explained properly, I think, to them about why this works. First of all, what is the goal of what we're doing tonight? I have mentioned, as I said, actually, I'm not sure if I did say it, but I was encouraging people to, in their minds, bring along their special person. And what we're about to do is we're about to wake up some energy centers in our bodies that vibrate at certain frequencies. For example, scientists have proven that emotions vibrate at certain frequencies. Happiness vibrates at a certain frequency. Grief vibrates at a certain frequency. And exposure to certain frequencies can bring someone from a feeling of grief to a feeling of happiness. Excuse me. So in exposing yourself to certain vibrations, you are able to wake up certain energy centers in your body. And these frequencies, literally, there's something called a resonant frequency, which I'm going to discuss in a moment. But if I were to tell you that as a result of what we're doing tonight, it's going to make you feel more secure, attract money to you, security, wealth. It's going to make you feel happier, sexier, feel like you have power over your personal circumstances, take power over your personal circumstances, be more loving and receive more love, have your intuition operating at such an optimal level that you just sense and know where people are coming from when things are going to happen. Being in tune with the gods, being an expert communicator with other human beings. You know, if I were to tell you that that was the result of what we're going to do tonight, I'm sure you'd say, sure, I'm in. So I want you just to sort of suspend your disbelief if you still don't believe it. Suspend it just for tonight and bear with us. So every single object, every substance that, for example, glass, a crystal glass, the atoms in a crystal glass that make up that glass, they vibrate. They have a natural frequency. It's called the resonant frequency, a natural frequency at which they normally vibrate at. What does that mean? Well, because of their makeup, there are atoms, obviously, that matter is made up of, and different types of matter. I think you'd agree with me that a table or wood is different. A regular table or regular piece of wood has a different look and feel to it than marble, for example, or glass or crystal. And it's because they have a different atomic makeup. And what is that really? It really has to do with energy waves and how many energy waves pass through the atoms that make up that material per second. So a hertz, 1 hertz is 1 wave per second. Sorry guys, I was about to go into a coughing fit there. So let's talk about the natural frequency of a crystal glass, okay? It's somewhere near 556 hertz. It's a little bit lower than that, actually. And I'm going to explain to you a phenomenon called Resonant Frequency, which is really what we're doing tonight. So if you take sound or light and it hits a particular substance, and the sound or light happens to be close enough to the natural frequency of that matter, what will happen is the matter will raise its vibration to match the sound or light frequency. And what happens is it jiggles around the atoms. So this is why, for example, you probably can think of, funny scenes in movies where an opera singer will be singing at a certain, hit a certain high note, and if it's loud enough, it can shatter glass. That is because what happens is the glass or crystal, for example, will vibrate at a frequency that's a little bit lower than 556 hertz. So if it is exposed to a sound frequency that is higher, a little bit higher than the frequency which it normally vibrates at. I'm desecrating the English language here, I realize. Thank God the grammar nanny is not listening. But anyway, hopefully she isn't anyway. So you've got a crystal glass, okay? It's on a table. An opera singer comes in the kitchen or the dining room and sings the high note of 556 hertz, which is slightly above what crystal normally vibrates at. And it is loud enough. It has to be of a certain intensity in order for this to happen. So what will happen is, if it is close enough to that frequency of the glass, but a little bit higher, the glass, the atoms in that glass will naturally raise the vibration to match the opera singer's voice. Now, the sound coming from the opera singer has to be very close to the natural frequency of crystal in order for the atoms in the crystal to naturally raise to match the frequency. Now that natural raising to match the frequency of the sound is a phenomenon that occurs scientifically. It's called resonance or resonant frequency. I'm just going to give you the wiki definition of resonant frequency just so you'll believe me. It is a phenomenon when sound or light hits an object that would normally vibrate at a frequency close to it, and the object raises its vibration to become equal to the sound or light. Now, so if you expose crystal to a frequency that is slightly higher than its natural frequency, and you have it at a certain decibel or a certain intensity that it's loud enough, of course, because the atoms in the glass, excuse me, guys, will want to raise its vibration to match the sound, the glass, if it's thin enough, and the sound is loud enough, it will shatter because of this natural occurring phenomenon. I'm just going to pause the tape for 1 second, guys, if you could bear with me. All right, so what we're doing tonight is we are taking sound. I'm going to expose you to the frequency of each chakra. It won't be loud, don't worry. It doesn't need to be loud for the exercise that we're doing. We're not looking to shatter any of our energy centers. And also with the visualization that we're going to do, it will be effective. But so these energy centers, can you see them on an X-ray? No. Is there enough evidence that they actually exist? I think yes. I won't go into a huge, long explanation of how it works, but how about if you just suspend your disbelief for tonight and watch what starts to happen to you, and especially since we're going to do your person tonight, watch what happens to them. I do individual sessions with people. I've been doing it for years over the phone, and I'll tell you something funny. I can start out with a woman who, has almost no contact with her special person. And we start to clear his chakras. And the next thing I know, she's canceling sessions with me because she's off doing something fun with him. So there's just something about it. When your person is happy, the happier they are, the more they're going to want to see you. If your person is unhappy and they're suffering and they don't have any money and they're not doing well, why on earth would they want to pick up the phone and call you? The thing is, we want the people that we love to be doing well, to have money in their pocket, and to be passionate about what they do. They are much more likely to give us a call if they're feeling good and confident. All right, one moment, guys. I'm going into another coughing fit. Just a moment. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to begin with the root chakra. So in a moment, I'm going to give you a visualization, and I am going to expose you to 396 hertz, a sound. Now, once you do this exercise you could either use this video to do your chakra clearing, or you can actually do it if you're lying down with your headphones on and you have YouTube. All right, so we're going to be using pure tones tonight. I don't feel that the music mixes, personally, in my experience, are effective. They might sound nice and glamorous, but it's too difficult to pick out the pure tone. So what I have typed into YouTube, if you ever want to do this on your own, is 396 hertz pure tone. And now we're going to do the visualization now. What I'd like you to do before we start is empty your lungs, please. Fill them up. Hold for 5 seconds. 5,000, 4,000, 3,000, 2,000, 1,000. Let it out. Good. So what I want you to do now is I want you to picture that you're sitting in a yoga studio. So it's a large empty room. And on one side of the room, there is nothing but glass. So it's sort of like a glass wall. And you notice that this studio is on a cliff. And so what you can see is the ocean that is beyond the cliff. Okay, so it's a beautiful, beautiful empty yoga studio, but for a few chairs where we are all sitting. Now I want you to picture that your special person is there in a chair across from you. So the first thing that I'd like you to do is to look at their body in the area of their tailbone and literally start to visualize or see in your mind. It's like a round ball of ruby red glowing light, and it becomes larger and larger and more intense till it's at the width now of their hips. And now I want you to watch it turning counterclockwise. Don't get hung up on the direction. Just make sure that all the chakras that you picture tonight are turning in the same direction, okay? Now, you can picture this as a fan with multiple blades. If you're going to do that, I would picture them for the root chakra. It would just have 5 or 6 blades, not many, maybe even 4 or 5 large blades. And you can turn the speed of the ruby red fan up now a little bit. Now let it just go into a blur of ruby red. Now I want you to picture that it is entirely ruby red. There are no dark spots. And if there were, let them flick or fly off the blades of the fan as it spins. If they're still there, turn up the speed of the fan till they fly off. Now I want you to look at your person's face, look at the expression on their face, and watch their expression go from whatever it was to something very calm. And imagine them going, oh, that feels good. Wow. Okay. They don't have to be saying that, but this is the sensation that they're getting from you doing this. Now I want you to look down at your own and do the same visualization. So just imagine that your ruby red chakra fan looks exactly like theirs. Good. Now, I want you to know, I'm going to just sort of bring the microphone a little bit closer to the speaker here, and I want you to immerse the chakra, their chakra and yours, root chakra. Just let it fall into the frequency of this tone. And in doing so, you will be pulling money and security your way. I want you to imagine whatever it is right now that you feel you need to feel secure. Imagine having that right now. Don't worry about how. Just imagine that it's already here, all right? So if it's a house that you want, or a castle, or, whatever it is that floats your boat that you think you need to feel secure, imagine that you're in it right now, please. Now it's yours. Now I want you to just say a little, not a prayer, but we're going to make a wish that your person gets exactly what they want to have as well. Okay, you don't have to be living in the same house, but whatever it is, we're going to wish them material success. And also respect, because this chakra, I find, it's associated with feeling confident and having others showing respect for you. All right? Now I'm going to pull the mic over to the speaker. So the sound is going to become a little more intense, but just let the chakra glow out a ruby red. I'm only going to expose you to this for about 5 seconds, okay? Get ready. All right, that is a fantastic job you've done. Now we have our root chakras already done. So the next chakra that we're going to move up to is the Sacral Chakra. So I want you to move your eyes up on your person's body to an area that's between their hips and yours too, and start picturing the same type of fan, only it is a beautiful, deep amber orange, okay? Now I want you to imagine, as you're picturing this orange fan, I want you to think of something that you're very passionate about. And that may be a strong word, something that you really enjoy doing. For example, a lot of actors say that their true passion is theater, not film. Some women, I should say women and men, but I find that a lot of women really enjoy sewing. Well, actually, there are some men who are really good at sewing too. Anyway, I love sewing. I love picking out patterns and getting the material, and just from the beginning to an end, the making of a dress for me is I could immerse myself. I could stay in the house for about 7 days straight till the dress is done, and I wouldn't even be able to count the days that have gone by practically. So sewing is one of my passions. Excuse me. Sorry, guys, that my throat is so, I've tried everything, hot water, lemon, you name it. Anyway, so I want you just to think about a hobby that you enjoy. And if you can't think of anything, just picture yourself laughing. Just picture yourself being really, really happy. And then I want you to also picture yourself doing something. Picture the last time that you saw your person excited and happy. Whether, they were telling you about something, or maybe not excited and happy, just immersed in what they like to do. For example, a mechanic, when they're immersed in fixing cars and, when they're doing what they love to do, when somebody is doing what they love to do, or you're watching somebody who's really good at something, you're watching somebody play tennis, somebody who's really good at playing tennis, or somebody who is a painter painting, or a writer, with the papers all over the floor and everything, or someone giving a really good performance, a speech, singing, performing, a musical performance, anything like that. So think of something that your person loves to do, or the last time you remember them being excited and happy about something. I'm just going to give you about 10 seconds to picture that, please. And now we're going to wish that those experiences and those kind of feelings will come back to your person, and they will experience that every day. Now, I am going to expose you again to a frequency. This is 417 Hertz. It's the frequency of the Sacral Chakra. So it'll just be for about 10 seconds. So focus on that orange fan, okay, spinning in the same direction as your root chakra fan and glowing out an orange. Here we go. Excellent job. Excellent job, guys. So the next color that I need you to picture will be a beautiful lemony yellow and a warm golden yellow. The sun, the color of the sun, like a miniature golden warm sun. And I want you to move up your person's body to right between their rib cage, okay? And you as well. Now, before we go on to the solar plexus chakra, I want to stress the importance of believing, of suspending your disbelief for this particular frequency that we're about to do. Do you know that cells naturally can repair DNA? And if you don't believe me, I'm going to read you out something from Wiki that is very universally accepted. Cancer occurs, for example, when all processes of DNA repair break down or don't occur for whatever reason. Now, why am I talking about this? Because this frequency that I'm about to expose you to is the same frequency that is associated with DNA repair. Now, I am just going to read to you the Wiki definition of DNA repair, because I don't think anyone could argue with me if it's in Wiki, all right? DNA repair is a collection of processes by which a cell identifies and corrects damage to the DNA molecules that encode its genome. In human cells, both normal metabolic activities and environmental factors such as radiation can cause DNA damage, resulting in tens of thousands of individual molecular lesions, that's it being hurt, per cell per day. Many of these lesions cause structural damage to the DNA molecule and can alter or eliminate the cell's ability to transcribe the gene that the affected DNA encodes. Other lesions induce potentially harmful mutations in the cell's genome, which can affect the survival of its daughter cells after it undergoes mitosis. As a consequence, the DNA repair process is constantly active as it responds to damage in the DNA structure. When normal repair processes fail, and when cellular apoptosis does not occur, irreparable DNA damage may occur, including double-strand breaks and DNA cross-linkages. This can eventually lead to malignant tumors, such as cancer, okay? So It says the rate of DNA repair is dependent on many factors, including the cell type, the age of the cell, and the extracellular environment. Okay, so there is a frequency at which this DNA repair is helped along. Let's put it that way, and it is this particular frequency that I am about to expose, to which I'm about to expose you. I think I'm, again, desecrating the English language here, but anyway, hopefully the grammar nanny is not listening tonight. Okay, so one moment. So when I expose you to this frequency now, I do want you, so your person is still sitting across from you, okay? I want you to look up in the person's chest area. It's a little bit below their rib cage, so this would be around the top of the stomach area. Now, I know some of you now are saying, no, on me, it's somewhere else. Well, you're right, okay? Because everybody has a different, torsos are different lengths, but, you'll know where, if you feel that you know where your solar plexus energy center is, then you do. If you don't know, I find the best thing to do is to take your hands right now, one hand on each rib cage, and then bring them together till you get to the very center. You should be around about the top of your stomach or the bottom of your esophagus there. This is a good place to picture your miniature sun. Now, as I expose you to this frequency, I want you first to imagine this glowing out like a miniature sun from your person. Imagine a nice smile on their face. All right, so, and just picture the word healing, and do the same for yourself. All right, so stand by and I will expose you to this frequency for about 10 long seconds. Allow that beautiful golden fan to glow out. Excellent job, guys. Excellent. Just before I go on, there was a 2018 study from Japan, and the frequency that I just exposed you to, the 528 Hertz solar plexus frequency, I'm just going to read out this, what their findings were. Discovered that music tuned into the frequency of 528 Hertz significantly reduced stress in the endocrine systems and autonomic nervous systems, even after a mere 5 minutes of listening. And in a study published in the Journal of Addiction Research and Therapy, the frequency of 528 Hertz reduced the toxic effects of ethanol, the principal ingredient found in alcoholic drinks, on cells. See that? See the cell reparation? Even more astounding was that this frequency also increased cell life by about 20%. Now, don't worry about that. Oh, well, that's 5 minutes, not 10 seconds. That's 5 minutes of music it was in that key. What I just exposed you to was a pure tone with no other competing tones, so it should be much more effective. All right, so the one you're hearing right now is 639, and this is the frequency of the Heart Chakra. Now, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get you to allow your Heart Chakra to vibrate at this frequency first, and then I'm going to tell you what it's associated with. So the color that I'd like you to picture right now would be a light emerald shimmery green. And it's a very large area all around your chest. It's not just your heart, it's all around your chest. I want you to spin this one too, counterclockwise. So I want you to imagine that all chakras are spinning in the same direction. Your green heart chakra, your miniature sun, solar plexus chakra, your beautiful amber orange fiery sacral chakra, and your beautiful ruby red root chakra. They're all spinning in the same direction, okay? Now, I just want you to take in the feeling and the tone and allow that beautiful emerald green to shimmer out and spin. Make it a pure emerald green. If you see any dark spots, turn the fan up on high speed till the dark spots fly off. Okay, are you ready? I'm going to bring the microphone over to the speaker now for 10 seconds. All right. So I'm just going to read you out one of the, just a very small paragraph on the heart chakra, okay, focusing less on the science. The frequency of 639 Hertz helps balance emotions and elevate the mood. It also promotes communication, love, understanding, and brings harmony into interpersonal relationships. Music set to 639 Hertz is perfect when you need a significant boost of love and positivity or are dealing with conflicts in relationships. Now, I'm going to add something to this. Just bear with me for a moment. So I was trying to find a good quote from Dr. Candace Pert. Perhaps I'll find an exact quote from her on this frequency at another time, but she believes that this frequency, this 639 frequency, aids in cells communicating with each other. For example, there are certain messenger cells that are sent from cells to neighboring cells about particles that are incoming that are found to be dangerous. When a cell is dying, for example, it can, if it's being attacked by a virus, it will send out little signals to neighboring cells, encoded right in the new virus cell. This is for RNA viruses. That signifies to the cell that it's about to attack and trick that it's actually dangerous. So that's an example of cellular communication. Cell membranes will communicate with the membranes of neighboring cells about dangerous particles that are in the area. So anyway, Dr. Candace Pert, she is the author of Your Body is a Subconscious Mind. She has all sorts of theories about how these vibrations affect the human body, and she matches them up with cellular, with what they're doing. So the other thing that this frequency is known for, on a spiritual level, is relationships and connecting with others, basically communication. So how about if we have 5 more seconds of this? Here we go. All right. Now, great job, guys. You're doing such an amazing job. All right, so we are now going to move up to the throat chakra. So next, I'd like you to now picture a beautiful baby blue disc all around your person's throat area. It's a very soft disc, and it is sort of allowing them to be able to tell you something that you want to know. Or if you could just picture the last time your person actually communicated with you, maybe the last time they said, "I love you," or just something that you were surprised that they actually said or communicated. What's funny is at the moment that I thought about that, I just thought about the way that I reacted. We've got to really, I think one of the things that I have to do anyway is to stop overreacting when somebody actually speaks their truth and it's something that I don't want to hear. Because it's actually a good thing that people are able to be open Anyway, so this area is associated with just what I said, with speaking your truth. So what I'd like you to do is picture your person telling you something, or that you want to know, and I want you to picture yourself reacting by smiling and nodding. So I'm going to expose you to this now. I'll read you a little tiny quote. This is 741 Hertz. It's the pure tone of the Throat Chakra. Music tuned to the frequency of 741 Hertz helps with problem solving, cleansing the body, and self-expression. It also helps to awaken intuition and promote living simply and purely. This frequency is ideal if you're struggling with living a healthy lifestyle, expressing creativity, or speaking your truth. So I'm just going to get you to immerse your throat chakra and your person's throat chakra in this tone for about 10 seconds. Here we go. Beautiful job. Awesome, guys. All right, so next we're going to move up to the third eye chakra, or the intuition chakra, we sometimes call it. And you're going to start to picture, I always call it a miniature planet Earth, a globe inside your head, behind your eyes, inside your person's head, behind their eyes. And it's sort of like spin the globe and allow little sparks to fly off it. And so this is our intuition chakra, or our third eye chakra. And imagine how wonderful it would be if our intuition were sharp all the time and tuned in, and we could sense what was going on around us in our environment. But intuition, I think, when it's functioning properly, it's always a good thing. It's the lack of anxiety. It's the knowing that things are going to turn out well. Okay? So I'm going to get you the intuition chakra frequency, and I'm going to get you, while I'm finding that, to continue picturing a navy blue globe inside your head, behind your eyes, and the same with your person, spinning and sparks flying off it. And picture your person smiling, okay? All right, so here we go. Here's a nice quote for you for this chakra. The 852 Hertz frequency helps replace negative thoughts with positive ones, making it ideal when nervousness or anxiety is bringing you down. It also aids in awakening intuition and inner strength. You'll enjoy listening to music set at 852 Hertz if you're seeking to communicate with and live in harmony with your highest self. And again, I just want to stress that intuition is a knowing that everything will be fine. It's a knowing that good things are coming. That is intuition, because it is always a communication with God. Whenever we feel fear, that is not your intuition. When someone says to you, oh, I feel like something bad is going to happen, that's fear. That's not intuition, okay? So I'm going to get you to immerse yourself in this frequency for about 10 seconds. Let the sparks fly off the inner globe. Fantastic job, guys. We only have one chakra left to do, so really pat yourself on the back if you've lasted this long. Are you getting sleepy? Are you getting very, very sleepy? Just a moment, guys. All right, so I forgot to mention that the frequency that you were listening to a moment ago is also associated with activating, the pineal gland. And that's science that I was talking about, the previous frequency, 852. And there are also scientific studies that show that it can reduce anxiety and depression. But the next frequency, the crown chakra frequency. So for this one, you want to just sort of look above your person's head and begin to see a beautiful mauve fan that's sort of floating above but a little bit behind their head, all right? So this frequency as well, there are scientific studies that show that this frequency helps processes in the human body, specifically it activates the pineal gland. So I'm just going to read you a little quote from The Healing Human Body. It says that 963 Hertz sound frequencies are associated with activation of the pineal gland and higher spiritual development. The 963 Hertz frequency is known as both the pure miracle tone and the frequency of the gods. It is associated with the activation of the crown chakra and a connection to the source of all humanity. You know, that's why they call it the God frequency. So what would this frequency do? It certainly would help you manifest things. So this would be a good time to just take about 10 seconds out, perhaps while I'm exposing you to this frequency, to think of some things that you would like to manifest for yourself. Remember, don't get caught up with how. How am I going to do this? That's not for you, not for this meditation, not right now. So don't get caught up with the how. What you want to do is you want to think about how you would feel if you had that one thing. So for example, if you were trying to manifest sitting on a beach, okay, in a really hot environment, what you would do is you would picture yourself, first of all, the look of the sand. Then you would picture putting your hand on the sand and squeezing it and the sand sliding through your fingertips. You would picture the smell of tanning oil, coconut tanning oil. You would picture the sound of people splashing around in the water. You would picture the swoosh of the ocean. You would picture that feeling of heat on your skin. You would picture looking down and sort of, looking and noticing that you're a little bit tanned, and picture, making a plan to get up and get in the water. So you picture the feeling of that. Picture how a nice pina colada would taste if you took a sip out of it right now. All right. So these are things that help you, you sort of can have the feeling of being there. If it's a brand new car that you want, picture what it looks like. Picture driving around in it, picture going through a drive-through in your brand new car, or picking your friend up to go for a drive, or something like that. Okay, and then you find the feeling, even if it's just a sort of a mustard seed flash of the feeling that you would get. Or if it's being with your person, picture being with them right now. Picture hugging them or grabbing their hand or kissing them or whatever. Picture that while I expose you to this frequency, okay? So I'm going to expose you to this frequency for about 30 seconds. All right, here we go. Now, for those of you who are hoping to hear from your special person, I'm going to get you to picture yourself tomorrow or even later on tonight. You never know, although it's kind of late right now, but who cares? When it's your special person, it kind of doesn't matter when they contact you. But I want you to picture the feeling that you get when you see a text from them coming up on your phone, or the feeling that you get when you see their number coming in on your phone, that excited little feeling. I want you to picture that, and I'm going to expose you to this tone for 5 more seconds, okay? Here we go. All right, guys, you've done just an incredibly awesome job. I'll just show you the difference between the pure tone and the music mixes. Yeah, so here we have a little mixture of all. This is a mixture of 963, 639, 396. It's called Opening Up to the Universe. Oops, that's a little loud. So there are all sorts of meditation music mixes on YouTube. There's everything on YouTube. It's just incredible, actually. All right, so what I'd like you to do before we close this down now is we're going to do one more breath. I'm going to get you to empty your lungs, please. I'm going to get you to fill them up. And I'm going to get you to hold for 5,000, 4,000, 3,000, 2,000, 1,000. And I want to thank you so much and let it out. Sorry. So I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight on Club Bed. I'm sure that you're getting very, very, very sleepy. And if you're not sleepy yet, a wonderful thing that you could do when this video stops is to go to Celestial Subliminals and just hit the playlist and pick sleep or anything that says shifting. Fall asleep fast and shift into your now you're going to see a bunch of weird acronyms. Just don't worry about it. There's all sorts of people that do these very strange things when they're sleeping. None of these videos are dangerous, in my opinion, none of them. And most of them, you will go into an absolutely beautiful deep sleep with anything from Celestial Subliminals. But for now, I'm going to convince you that you are getting very, very sleepy. I want you to drop your jaw, please. Just drop it. Allow your lower jaw to completely relax and drop. Let it hang. And what you'll find is that your entire face will also drop. All the muscles in your face will relax. Do it again. Drop your jaw. It will also relax muscles in your neck, your shoulders, the rest of your body. You're going to drift off into a very, very deep sleep. You'll go into stage 1, and then you'll easily and effortlessly shift into stage 2. You'll spend some significant time there. And then when your body is ready, you're going to go into stage 3. You'll spend a little bit less time there, and then you're going to slip right into stage 4, where you're going to get some very deep, restful, wonderful sleep. You're getting very, very sleepy. You're starting to feel very heavy in your bed, firmly planted in your bed or wherever you're sleeping. You might be on the couch or on the floor. Remember, when you sleep on the floor, you cannot fall out of bed. You're safe and secure. And you're going to have a wonderful sleep. And while you're sleeping, all the things that you want to manifest will be coming about without you even knowing it. I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. You're getting very, very sleepy. Thank you so